This is Ray Williams. Thank you so much for hanging out with us with Dallas Cowboy Scout.
Appreciate it.
My man West Coast from this buck.
Thank you for watching West Coast.
Shout out West Coast Cowboys. You know, it's always love over here. Raider, Cowboy, always a Cowboy.
Did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? Yeah!
What's up with you guys? It is your boy West Coast, and we are live in the building, man. How are you guys doing this afternoon, this morning? I got everything going smooth this morning, man. How y'all doing this morning? I need to know. Tomorrow we come up out of Facebook jail, so we want to make sure everything is good. You know what I'm saying? So when all these thousands of people start coming back up here, because they'll finally be getting the notification, everything will be right and gravy, baby. So, man, how y'all feeling this victory Monday? Tell me how y'all feeling. Did you walk into work the way you were supposed to? You guys already know the standards. Chest out, chin up, nose pointing to the sky. Y'all know what it is, man. It's your favorite Cowboy, West Coast. And I got my Cowboy cousin on the line. What's up? What's up with you, boss Cowboy?
Hey, what's up, man? Shoot, I got somebody on my page saying they from North Pole, Alaska. My God.
Say that one more time. It's
Alaska.
That's like 6 hours. They be having like 6 hours of sunshine, 6 hours of daytime there, right?
Man, yeah. They days be short. If I remember right in school, but anyway, back to football.
Yeah. Hold up real quick. Let me let everybody know we live. We live, baby. We live, baby. Hey man, I gotta tell y'all, man, y'all really held your boy down yesterday on that live feed, man. Like we was getting it cracking yesterday. We had over 1,000 comments. It was cracking in the mug, man. So yesterday was fun. Hey, how did we sound this morning, man? We was up late night, burning that midnight oil. Burning that midnight oil. You know what I'm saying? We was up here getting our janitor on. You know when the janitor come through about 3 o'clock in the morning sweeping real slow? But he working though, you know what I'm saying? That was us last night, burning that midnight oil. How we sound, man? How we sound? We sounding good? We must be sounding good because I'm getting all types of hearts. Ooh. Man, I'm feeling good. Hey, man, did we win yesterday? I'm feeling real goosey.
I mean, did we win or what, man?
Yeah, I'm feeling all goosey on the inside, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, like, you know what? But you know what this win kind of feel like, West Coast? Like, kind of like...
What it kind of feel like, boss?
Like, kind of like we all expected this, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I can't fake good, bro. I'm sorry. I can't be the one that... It's like, bro, we expected to beat these boys. We called it like this, too.
Yeah, and you know what I love about it most? Well, you know what I love more about this than anything? Instagram. This is what I love about this most importantly, Instagram, is this. Not even that we called it because, you know, 1 + 1 = 2. You know what I'm talking about? If I'm in Bahrain, which I've been, hot than the mother effer. But if I'm in Bahrain and I ask a Bahrain child, I say Bahrain child, little Bahrain child, what is 1 + 1? You know that Bahrain child's gonna say? He's gonna look up to me and he says, American. It is 2. It does not matter where you at. 1 + 1 is always gonna equal 2. Some of this stuff that we be seeing, man, we don't like to say I told you so because y'all be calling it 2. We just say 1 + 1 = 2 because it makes freaking sense. Now, before we get in, we got some topics we got to talk about before we talk about the big old topics. First, I got some updates. You know the big homie, man. The big homie went down yesterday, man. Antoine Woods, man, you know I had to send him a little prayer. I need y'all to send him a little prayer. You know what I'm saying? What it say? Is there a prayer in the house? You know what I'm saying? I need somebody to tag Antoine Woods and send him a prayer. We did yesterday, and guess what? It has been revealed that he has a MCL sprain. We was praying that it was nothing worse than what it is because you guys know when them big old giants go down, you got all the weight in the world and they stomachs and backs and bones and all that stuff going down on that same injury. So I was very excited to understand that it was just a sprain because a sprain lets me know that in due time it won't be a sprain and we should get him back, man. So
do you have any kind of ETA on that?
That is a good point. They say 4 to 2. They say 2 to 4 weeks. In football sense, you know what that means? A month. You know what I'm saying? I always take the whenever someone says it's gonna be like with Drew Brees, they're saying he's gonna be out 4 to 6 weeks. What it's saying is he should be out 6 weeks. But if we can, if we pray and hope and we fast and light the candles and we do a couple of Hail Marys, he might be back in 4 weeks. That's what that means. But realistically, he should be back in 4 weeks. So that's what I'm assuming with Antoine Woods, and then probably a 5th week considering preparation. But I mean, because he won't be really. The thing that sucks about Antoine Woods' injury is it's below the body, so. Anything that he does is going to be ergo. That means it's probably going to be in some water, or it's going to be, you know what I mean, boss? Because you can't really work out when you have a sprained MCL unless you're in water, in a pool or something. You know what I'm saying? So That's the only thing that I don't like. You know what I'm saying? Like Robert Quinn came back today, and his narrow tail should be ready. You want to know why? Because he had a hand. You know what I'm saying? Your arms, legs, and everything below your body should be fine. You know what I'm saying? It's just about what he does when he attacks people, when he smacks them. Ham, ham, ham. You know what I'm saying? Is he going to be able to do that all day? You know what I'm saying? I should have put up there Robert Quinn coming back as a sub-subject, but I just totally forgot. But we want to talk about that real quick. This subject could actually be brought to you by our sponsors over at Gridiron Hard. We appreciate you guys so very, very much.
Yeah, I wanted to actually talk about if we want to just take an audible off the main topics. I want to talk about what does that Woods do to Tristan, and kind of like, because obviously it opens it up for Tristan, so he should be active now. So we're gonna really get a chance to see that.
Well, how about we do this? How about we do this? How about we?
We can put that under hot balls. We can put all that under hot balls.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. That's what I was gonna say. So hey, let's just go ahead and knock it out. But hey, but I had to give you all those updates, those medical updates, real quick. Anyway, though. But that's on that. Tavon Austin is still on protocol and concussion protocol. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys. You guys saw yesterday my boy D Smith. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all remember when we was at training camp? I'm gonna drop that video again. Why? Because I think y'all need to see it. I'm gonna drop that video again. And it was when I talked to Devin Smith. I asked him about how was it to be in a program. The fact that he was a second-round draft pick. He was a second-round draft pick out of Ohio State. And at Ohio State, I'm gonna be honest with you. The exact type of play that he caught last night was the exact type of plays he'd caught in Ohio State. Like, Devin Smith is a big play receiver. And the thing I like about Devin Smith is, bro, he's not even like Deshaun Jackson fast where you should just expect it. But, I can't wait till the coach's film come out so I can really see how he got behind those corners. But one thing I do know is it was a combination of good play calling, a Dilfer dime by Dak. It's funny how when Dak started throwing the Dilfer dimes, they don't want to do the segment no more because Dak would have been on there 2 weeks in a row. But it was a combination of good play, a combination of Dak understanding where to put the ball at. Because if you think about this, Dak didn't throw the ball where Devin Smith was. Where he was. Dak threw the ball where he knew he was going. And that's next level, y'all. You know what that lets me know? We're going to have some more touchdowns because Dak is getting confident. And think about this. Dak is throwing about 4 to 5 deep balls a game, and he's connecting on about at least 4 of them. You know what I'm saying? So that confidence is coming, the ability to do it, and, man, I'm just loving it, man. But just kind of talking about Devin Smith versus Tavon. Devin Smith is a younger player. His money is a lot lower. I said he was going to be our 3rd wide receiver about a month ago. So it's not surprising me that the young man is balling, man. What is your thoughts, Boss Cowboy?
Devin Smith is a perfect Marshall's pick. He fit that term to the T to where you have a prior higher pick or a prior high performance in the league that slipped for different reasons. Sometimes they slip because of injury. They slip because it's too deep. Where they're in their team, so they end up going away. Sometimes they change schemes. So different people with different formal skill sets that was rated high get away. And that's Devin Smith. And if Devin Smith never had those injuries to his knee, Cowboy fans would be like super at glee, in glee over him. Because imagine us drafting him in the 2nd round. You would be so excited what you're seeing in him already. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, but he's almost always been a forgotten about Cowboy, even though he's had a great resume and just bad luck when it came to his ACL. So it's one of those redemptive stories to where, you want to feel happy for this guy because it's hard mentally to come back from that. You can see that coming back from injuries and living in the training room made Luck retire. So the mental, people not talking about you, you'd have forgotten, and he had to fight his way onto the roster. So he's somebody that I just continue to pray continues to show his worth and why he always was a second round draft choice.
Absolutely. That's a great point, man. And shout out to the person who had the cojones to bring him in too, because someone had to have been like, "Yo, just bring this guy in that has 2 ACL surgeries in the last 3 years, and let's see if he can run fast down the field and open up the backfield."
That's
like,
Will McClay.
But we can't always give it to all the Will. But you know what I'm saying? But I will say shout out to because a lot of these decisions, you know what I'm saying, I think sometimes whenever something's good happen, we say it's Will, and anything is bad, something happened, we always say it's Jason Garrett. I want to give credit to management as in whole, because at the end of the day, man, if Will McClay brought him in, I'm pretty sure that there's been guys that Jerry Jones has said no to. You know what I'm saying? But he said yes to this guy. You know what I'm saying? And I am happy that, the politics of the situation. Well, the cool thing about Devin Smith is, even if there was some politics, injuries trumped everything. You know what I'm saying? When injuries trump it, you ain't going to really have too much of you ain't going to have no opportunity but a reason but to play this kid. Hey, and I got to do an update real quick on Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup is getting an MRI today on his, I think if I'm not mistaken, his knee also. I looked through I watched the game last night again. I didn't actually see where he got hurt. And I could have sworn I seen him walking off because I watched. They only show you so much on the film that's not football related. So you got to look on the outside to see if anything. But I could have sworn I saw him walking off the field with the team at the end of the game. So I don't know when. I really don't know when or what play it was that he got hurt. I'm very curious to see what that play was and even what it looked like. But to be honest with you, considering you play the Miami Dolphins this weekend, no matter what's wrong with Michael Jeezy, if he's not 100%, just sit him, man. Sit him. Sit him. Allow Tavon Austin. Not let Tavon. If Tavon Austin comes out of protocol, I would let Tavon Austin play, and I would let Devin Smith play, and I would try to find out between the two of those guys who would I let go. But right now, I'm leaning toward Devin Smith. Why? Because he's younger, man.
Yeah, and then I'm not even out on Tavon either. A lot of people. We like to pound on people when they have luck go against them. Like Tavon has this head injury, this concussion thing. So everybody here we go again. Let's get rid of him. No, Tavon is still an asset too. He's a Marshalls, but he's not performing right up to his former first round standard because he can't get on the field and he keep having bad luck. Yeah. But it's still why he's on the team. I'm a hope for him because he's still an asset. He's still electric. He still can definitely do things in the punt return, but Devin Smith is growing. So I don't even really think it's a Tavon versus Devin, really. I think it's more so when Tavon is back, you use him where he makes sense and where he can be the best fit for his team. Jet sweeps and stuff like that, maybe down the field and electric stuff and finding places and areas of space to where he can use his athleticism. So I'm not out on him. He's on our team. He made the roster. He started out with a concussion, but I'm not going to throw him away until we have to.
Yeah, and one thing about Tavon Austin is, man, right now, if you're asking me who is the best punt returner on this team, I would definitely say it's going to be Tavon Austin. He gives you the biggest spark. And think about this: Dalton Schultz or Tavon Austin. It's simple. You get what I mean? There are people on this team who are contributing way less.
Right. Yeah. So it's not even a question. I see people saying goodbye, Tavon. It's too early to kick anybody out the team.
I'll take Tavon over Dalton Schultz any day too.
Yeah, and obviously over Noah Brown and different people that's still on his roster that's doing nothing, right? So it's, his value is still there. And I'm not right now, while everybody's on this roster, I'm rooting for them all.
Yeah. Willie said Tavon has that dog mentality. That's why I like him. I like him too. He's another weapon. You know what I'm saying? But the Dallas Cowboys, for whatever reason, can't multitask, so they don't know how to look at the wide receiver room while looking at the tight end room. They don't know how to do that. They have in the Dallas Cowboys' mind, they have to get rid of one to get that's the only way they can really do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if they were if we were a multitasking team, that we could be like, dang, Dalton Schultz, what's up, bro? Hey, what you do the last 2 weeks? Nothing. What you do last year? Nothing. And we paying Jason Witten $2 million and he catching touchdowns? Wait, time out. Let's cut him. That's what you really should do. I mean, because any weapon that's not being used should be utilized to do something else. Like I don't even know the value that you would even get on a Dalton Schultz right now because he hasn't really showed anything. And to be honest with you, for what we're asking from our tight ends, like I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think Dalton Schultz can do what Jason Witten's doing. I don't think he can do that because think of this: every touchdown that Jason Witten scored, the last two, you could almost see it in the play design that he was getting the ball. But Jason Witten, regardless of him getting the ball, still was able to situate himself and get in position to still score. You know what I'm saying? There was some selling that had to do it. I don't think that Dalton Schultz is able to do that right now. You know what I'm saying? So it almost makes me think like, if the Dallas Cowboys are looking for a position, if you're looking for a guy that you can move around so that you can, keep an extra guy like a Tavon that you guys like, then, hey, move on from a guy like Dalton Schultz. And the cold thing about the game is if you put Dalton Schultz on the waivers, I can almost guarantee you'll get him back on the practice squad. I almost guarantee you. Like, no one is jumping to get a fourth-round tight end on the waiver wire. Nobody's really trying to do that. So
people need to just get off Tavon, man. That's all. It's too early. Now if it continues, then yes. But I'm rooting for him until it's obvious that he's not an asset to this team.
Yeah, I'll take that. But I mean, but we can all both agree that if we want Tavon on this team, we can find a space for him.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, he's still electric, and everybody was raving about him in training camp because he was earning it. So it's just really like an added asset and an added wrinkle for even Kellen Moore and us that even that hasn't been utilized. So, I don't, it's like sometimes we can be real, I would say disloyal, to where like we'll be throwing up the X and then in the same offseason we'll be spitting on the guy. Like saying
Tavon ain't did that much for.
No, of course he hasn't done that much. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying in terms of just how quick we are to be like let these guys either play, build their resumes, get them some time, or then you can jump off the bandwagon. But it's like I've seen enough out of Tavon and still have hope.
Yeah, I just think before we go to the next, my only issue with Tavon, man, is he has a history of not being available. So, I mean,
it's an issue.
Yeah, like that's my only issue. So it's like if anybody out there is like, yeah, let's move on. I'm not knocking it because you're asking to move on from a guy who has not played. You know what I'm saying?
But you say move on in the offseason. You say move on in training camp. He's on the roster. Like what you gonna do? Fire him?
No, but you could if it comes down to me releasing him to keep a Devin Smith, yes, I am gonna release him.
But Devin Smith on the roster. Like, so it's like,
but Tavon Austin's not active right now. So that's what I'm saying. In order to have both those guys active, you're going to have to deactivate somebody because Tavon Austin.
And that would definitely not be. And matter of fact, Tavon and Devin Smith was active week 1. So like they not in my opinion, even in question.
Yes, but then you got to remember Robert Quinn comes back tomorrow. So somebody's going to have Robert Quinn came back today.
Yeah, Tavon should not be up there. Like you said, it should be other people that's low-hanging fruit. Tavon shouldn't be in the conversation right now.
Yeah, the only thing and I agree with you, the only issue the only thing that I'm saying is the Dallas Cowboys, if you look at our wide receiver room right now, because we just made the point that the Dallas Cowboys are not going to cut a tight end to keep a wide receiver. Typically, they're going to cut someone in that same room. So it's like, they're going to look at replacing. If they want Devin Smith on this team and they're trying to make a room for it, they're going to most likely release one of those wide receivers. And if you're looking at how much Tavon is making this year, you know what I'm saying? You're making around the same amount of money as Cobb is, but look what the contribution is. You know what I'm saying? So I'm 100% in agreement. I would let Schultz walk before I do it. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple other guys that I would let walk before I let Tavon Austin do. But it would have to understand that he's going to be available to play. Because last year, man, he only played 7 games out of 18. You know what I'm saying? And that's not good enough. Hey, but let's go ahead and switch on to this. Let's go ahead and switch to this next subject, man. We're going to talk about this Cowboys offense for a little bit, man. The Dallas Cowboys went into Washington and had a phenomenal game. You know, a lot of people are saying the Cowboys started off slow. I'm not necessarily say they started off slow. I mean, you could kind of say they started. My boy Alfonso said Noah Brown's another one. Exactly. Noah Brown's another one that you can release.
Yes.
But think about this. Noah Brown didn't even have to practice to make this team.
Yep.
2 years,
2 years in a row. We said it at the same time.
Like, how do you cut it? Like, that's nuts, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's nuts. How do you cut a dude? Like, how do you make an NFL team without practicing in their OTNs 2 years in a row? That means you're making the team because someone else is. What are they film? Are they watching? Because you has no film.
Yeah. Yeah, you can still smell the stench of politics in Dallas.
Somebody loves Noah.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's an odor of it, and it's an odor that kind of runs over certain players. It definitely goes with Noah Brown. It goes with Anthony Brown. It goes with Heath. It goes with some of the players that continue to, what I call those type of players. I call them the type of players that get 9 lives. And then there are certain players, they always walk in under a short leash. You yank them just like a dog when they get away from them. As soon as they do anything a little bit, you yank them out of there.
Example, and, Jordan Lewis, short chain, long chain, Jeff Heath.
Yep, and Anthony Brown. Like I committed to it. I don't care if I stay up all night. I'm releasing the film that shows to where Anthony Brown throughout his career has called 16 touchdowns and multiple penalties. I'm not going to show the penalties, but the 16 touchdowns, I'm showing it, I'm comparing it, and I'm gonna make it current to this team. Because like one of the things, we not on the subject of offense, we just kind of detoured, but one of the biggest plays was the missed tackle from Anthony Brown and the cleanup by Lewis. That sums it up. You know, in the same play, Anthony Brown missed the tackle. The exact same play, Lewis cleaned it up for him.
That's because Anthony Brown's angles, like his angle is just horrible.
I see panic on him. You know, some players panic. Some players compose themselves in big moments. And that's, to me, Lewis. Lewis is the definition of composure in big moments. You able to give this guy the biggest assignments and he shows up, even when he really never is like allowed to kind of get in a rhythm. Like, for instance, they just threw him out there when he was a rookie because he was coming off the hamstring, right? Yeah. But he started the whole season in ball. So he never was able to get in a training camp rhythm, preseason rhythm, or anything, right? But he balled. So then you come back and say, okay, we gonna give you the hardest assignment. You know that guy, the best athlete on the Saints? That's your assignment. No rhythm or nothing. But, hey, that's your assignment. What'd he do? Seal the game with an interception, lock him down, you know, and keep him out the game, keep him from being a major factor against the Saints. Yep. You say, hey, that guy that's killing us right now, Ingram, week 17, hey, I know you ain't really balled this year, but, hey, that's your assignment. And they put him out there week 17. He locked up Ingram. And it's like, how much do this guy got to do before we finally call him a starter? So at some point, you know, maybe talking ain't gonna do it. Sometimes they say pictures is 1,000 words. So I'm gonna go ahead and release it, and I'm gonna paint it to where you can clearly see it. Because some people still saying we have 4 good corners. I see 3. I don't see 4.
I mean, we do. I mean, I'll throw Donovan Olumba in there. Donovan Olumba, you just got to kind of protect him a little bit because his speed ain't the best. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and he haven't played in the NFL game yet. Mm-hmm. I think he has the most potential, but I'm only judging based on people who played in the games right now. So I agree with you. He's up and coming for sure, and I wish he was on the roster, and I wish he got his chance. But at the same time, it's like
you could throw Donovan Wilson in there too, who should be back today.
Yeah, I mean, and Donovan Wilson, more than likely, I can almost bet you $1 million is not going to get a chance because we're in love with Heat. So it's one of those things to where the people that's up and coming and the people that show it are not going to get their chance because it's that stench of politics, you know, and it's stuff that just doesn't make sense. It's like now you're trying to get us to bet against our own eyes. And it's like, no, not like, and everybody's saying the same thing. I can see if we was in disagreement. You don't disagree. You can't find anybody in the Cowboy world to say Anthony Brown is a better cornerback or nickelback than Jordan Lewis. You can't find anybody at this point because it's enough film to where that has truly been all the way put to bed. But yet, once again, who's going to show up out there as the starter? It's going to be Anthony Brown.
Yeah, man. That's why, I mean, you know, I wanted to we was gonna talk about this. I'll bring it back on our next episode. Let's go ahead and switch gears a little bit and go on to this offense, man. So the Dallas Cowboys, but I'm definitely gonna, as you guys can see the ticker right here. You know, we practicing on trying to stay where we supposed to be, but we're gonna definitely talk about going and elaborate on them Hot Boys a little bit more in a couple minutes. But before we do that, man, I want to talk about this offense, man. I want to talk about this Dallas Cowboys offense. The Dallas Cowboys offense went into Washington And you guys already know. I told you guys on my video this past weekend. I told you guys, even though Ezekiel Elliott did say that he wanted a bigger portion of this offense, which he did actually even get to. I said that I felt that this offense should definitely be going through one Dak Prescott. I thought that the Dallas Cowboys. Me and Boss Cowboy, we do our film. We do our film, our joint film watch, and we watched it like Wednesday night, I think. And we both came up with the same conclusion, and that was this: the Dak Prescott should lead us to a victory again, and that's exactly what happened. The Dallas Cowboys did try to come out there and start. Everybody keeps on asking, like, we started off slow, and I actually had that up there. But when you actually look at the film, it's not that we started off slow. We started off playing right into the freaking we were playing right into their hands. Like, they wanted us to play a run-based football team, and that's what we did going in that first half. It wasn't until going into the end of the second quarter where it almost felt like Kellen Moore was like, F this, we about to go to what worked last week and air these dudes out. And when he did that, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not gonna say that Kellen Moore probably had a little pressure, but it feels like someone probably pulled Kellen Moore over on the sidelines and between this game and said, hey man, you did a good job last week, but let's really work on getting Ezekiel back in the game a little bit more. That's what I'm just saying. It does feel like someone probably told Kellen Moore, and being the good son that he is, man, he tried his best. But guess what? Kellen Moore said at some point, you seen that meme when he's looking at the video, he's looking at the playbook, and then he just throws it. That's what it really feels like. Kellen Moore was just like, man, F this. Let's do what we know to do, and let's throw this rock. And as soon as you started doing that, what did you start seeing? Huge lanes opening. My thing is this: if your quarterback is not getting sacked, if your quarterback is not getting pulled to the ground and not getting pressured, why are you not throwing the ball? Dak had a clean pocket all day. Like, we should have abandoned the run by. And I'm not saying this has nothing to do with Zeke. This has something to do with the team that you're playing. Some week is going to be a game where you're going to be like, man, just keep pounding them. Let Zeke run for 200 yards. But sometimes there are games where you just need to take what the damn defense is giving you. And they were giving us over top. They were giving it to us all day. Boss, what is your thoughts on that, man?
Man,
the boy had 4 incompletions, and y'all want to run the ball. One was think about this, boss. Technically, Dak threw 30 passes. 27 of them was caught. The only problem was one was caught by the wrong team. Only 3 balls that he threw out of 30 went on the ground or in the stands. That's freaking amazing, bro. That boy has another perfect rating without that interception.
Well, I'll say this, man, because I actually, when I take notes, I take it by series, and they actually didn't switch to throwing the ball until the 4th series. So a lot of people that say
that was about deep in the second.
Yeah,
right?
Deep in the second. Because you did it intuitively. My notes match what you said. You know what I mean? Because literally, you know what I mean? Like around the second quarter, like the 4th series is where we started throwing. And I put in my notes, finally started throwing. And in the 4th series. So at this point, and I break it down by series like that because then you can see trends. So one of the trends that you can see, and I'm going to go and say it now, I don't like at all any kind of residue of our old offense at this point, especially when we're going against a team like the Redskins.
Yeah, and that's what we saw.
You're right. Sometimes you should feed Zeke. But when you saw the injury report, say the starting safety was out, then starting right corner's out, then you see and then the nickel is out, and then you also see a corner go down. It's like common sense said, throw on these guys.
Throw the ball.
And then you also look at the scouting report from last week and just look at the film. How did Philly come back?
Throwing the ball.
So everything said that where Washington was exposed was throwing the ball. So,
and not even exposed, that they would let you get behind them.
Yeah. And so they would let you get behind them and see. And what's crazy is they was playing us pretty good until we started
throwing the ball. They were playing the old school Cowboys. And oh my God, boss, I just thought about that right now, man. Like, you were so correct. That first quarter, that's exactly what it was. It looked like a Scott Linehan style offense.
That's what it was. It was a residue of it. And I believe the pressure came from Jason Garrett, which probably even came from Steven Jones and Jerry, to where they like, we need to slow Dak down. We in kind of contract talks. We need, you know what I mean? Slow it down. Don't let him air it out right now. It could be something like that with millions on the line, because that's exactly what it looked like. It looked like we was doing that same stuff we did last year when we was running on first, running on second, having manageable third downs, and then say Dak bail us out on this third and short.
Yeah.
You know, and we had real slow drives, which generally with one mistake, it kills the drives, right? It seemed like that exact same offense until we start throwing the ball. And so my vision of the Dallas Cowboys would be to us to go all the way back to even 2007. The model when we had Romo throwing and earn it out, and once we got ahead, what would we do? We would switch to Marion Barber, and he will pound them to submission and close out the games. To me, this is the new balance that the Cowboys should try to do, not that we go try to really run this one-size-fits-all style of we're going to run it and use Zeke, and then we're going to throw it off Zeke. I think it should be we throw it, and throwing it opens up Zeke and everybody else, because nobody can deny that our offense really opened up when we started throwing. And so once we started throwing, it was a wrap. It's like you couldn't stop us, and you couldn't stop Zeke, you know? And look what they started doing with their secondary. They was talking about it on television. Look at Norman. They playing 10 yards off. That is a lot of cushion. Oh, my goodness. Look at all the cushion. Why did they start giving us all that cushion? Because we was throwing the ball, you know? So it's like, at some point, we got to go ahead and accept that we have a franchise quarterback, treat him that way. He has the highest percentage completion in the entire NFL right now, right? He's always, and that's why a lot of the data always been speaking against the rumors that's been against Dak, you know? So at some point, we got to read the data, read what it really says, and stop having these ridiculous propaganda theories on Dak that's not according to facts.
Okay.
You know, and so but I agree with you still. There are times to where we're going to need to feed Zeke, but this was an obvious game we shouldn't have. And Miami should be a game we also throw the ball.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, Miami should be a game where everybody should just go nuts crazy. Like, Miami should be one of those games, honestly, where you should be able to try different schemes and plays that you wanted to try, because they're a defense that's giving up 45 points per game right now. So it's like in this New Orleans, not this New Orleans game, this Miami game, and not even to jump ahead of it, but I just feel that we should just see so much different variations of different types of stuff. Like, why? Because this is a defense that's giving up 40-some points. Like, this should be one of those games in front of the stands that you just let Zeke go crazy, let Dak go crazy. Just let these guys have one of those amazingly crazy games. And I'm going to tell you guys, if you pay Dak, you can do that, because right now, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. We're going to get up by like 20 in that Miami game, and they're going to pull him. And then Cooper Rush is going to have a career game for no reason. You know what I'm saying? There's no reason Cooper Rush should have a career game. You know what I'm saying?
They're going to pull him.
They're going to pull him, because I'm going to tell you right now, Dak Prescott currently right now has 7 touchdowns, right? 7 touchdowns on the seasons. If you take 7 touchdowns and you divide that by 2, that's Dak Prescott averaging 3.5. We're going to do some math real quick, right? We're going to do some math. I need everybody. Dak has 7 touchdowns. 7 divided by 2 is what? 3.5. I'm going to write 3.5 right here in the comment box. That means he's averaging what? 3.5 touchdowns. He's averaging 3.5 touchdowns. If you do 3.5 touchdowns times, how many games do you play in a season? 16. How many touchdowns does it say that Dak Prescott is trending right now? Where's one of my smarts? Where's one of my smart stats? Because the people keep saying Dak is like he's gonna get like this. No, let's get an exact number of how much he's trending.
Yeah, 3.5 times 16 is the trend. Hold on.
It's the trend. And the trend basically lets you know if he continues.
What pace he's on.
What pace he's on. If he continues at this trajectory, where he will end up at the end of the year.
And then add to that equation on both games, we was basically running the ball in the second half, and we went away from throwing.
Yeah, but we'll just
56.
56 touchdowns. Now I want you to look up Pat Mahomes' stats. We're just gonna look them up real quick. Pat Mahomes' stats. It's gonna look up Pat Mahomes stats. Now, Pat Mahomes was the MVP of the league last year. And you know how many touchdowns he threw? He threw 50.
Yeah.
So Dak is now is trending 56 touchdowns. Can somebody tell me how many? Yards Dak has right now?
Oh God, dog.
I think it's like 980 something, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Adam, I'm sorry. He says 40 touchdowns. You're way low, brother. You just shorted my quarterback 16 touchdowns. He's trending 56 touchdowns last year. Mahomes threw 50 last year. He was the league MVP.
Right.
So he has how many yards right now? Let's see how many yards Dak has.
700 something.
Dak Prescott stats. He has 674 yards. So let's go.
Okay, yeah.
674 yards, right?
Divide by 2.
You're going to divide that by 2. Is how much?
600. Tell me, because I do the math.
674 divided by 2. Hey, this is one of them shows where you learn something.
That's 336 yards per game average right now. Times 16.
How much?
336. That's 5,376.
All right, so
that's the pace he's on.
What's 336 times 16?
5,376. He's on a 5,000 yard pace right now.
Tell me that big number one more time again. I was so big I didn't hear it.
5,000.
You got to slow down when you say big numbers. Go ahead.
5,376 is his current pace.
Okay, let me put all this in here, right? 56. Now, how many interceptions does Dak have?
1, and it wasn't his fault.
I know, but it's life. It happens. You know what I'm saying? What's 1 divided by 2?
1 divided by 2 is 0.5, so that's going to be 8. So I can already tell you the math on that.
8 INTs.
Yeah. So that's the trend. That's the trend he's
on. All right,
on.
now, and what's his passer rating he has right now?
Oh, man. He's on 130.
There you go. Well, 130. Okay. Now, this is what we're going to do in all fairity. We're going to take 15 points off just because.
Yeah.
I'm going to just take 150. I'm going to just take 15 points off because if Dak ends up with 130, like, we all going to have to pitch in to pay this dude.
Yeah.
Like, for real. We're going to have a GoFundMe. But
yeah.
we're going to take 15 points off of it just why? Because there's haters in the world and we'll just say whatever, all right? You know what I'm saying? The haters got to him. All right, so I'm about to put his projected stats in the box. Ready? It's under my wife's name. This is what Dak's projected stats are as of right now through 16 games. 5,300 yards, 56 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and 115% passer rating. You know what that is? That's the second. Outside of the 8 interceptions, if he can get it down to like 6, that's going to be the single best season from a quarterback ever. That's what he's on pace to do right now.
So he's trending to be the best ever right now.
Or at least to have the best season. Really?
Yeah. Which is pretty much saying the same thing, right? To have the best quarterback season ever is to be the best ever, right?
Dak about to be stupid rich.
Yeah, and what's crazy is he's always kind of had this in him, but was always doubted, right? Because if you look at his first 24 games, it's only one quarterback that even comes close to his first 24. Not his rookie season, the first 24, which goes into his second season. It was only Dan Marino. Nobody else even come close as a career start. Not even close, but Dan Marino. If you look at him where he ranked right now in passer rating, career-wise, he's in the top 5, career-wise. And people still doubting on paying this man, and half of it coming from his fan base. So it's crazy. I mean, it's one of the.
Yeah, I think it's more Jerry now. I would be very pressed to find some people that don't feel that Dak is worth the money. And I'm actually. I think it was.
They still are like, cause see, this is the thing. You'll never see a quarterback at this point of Dak's career still waiting on the contract. Because when Derek Carr was at this point in his career, he was already paid.
Yeah, that
When Luck was at this part of his career, he was already paid. When Garoppolo was at this part of his career, he was already paid.
Garoppolo never got to this point in his career. Dude
You
got
see what
his
I'm
contract
saying?
on 5 games.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? And then, I mean, we can go on and on of all these young franchise quarterbacks. I can name 10 of them that got paid without having to start the season. So everybody that's saying wait and hold your horses, no, you wait. Because every time we wait, the price tag is going up. If y'all would have listened to Boss Cowboy back in February and March, we would have probably had Dak for 30. But it's all these
If you
Cowboy
would listen to
fans.
West Coast, you would have had him for 23. The day after Nick Foles got signed, I said, sign Dak right now. Give him $25 million. Give it to him right now.
He wouldn't have signed for 20. No, not after how he finished the Giants game. No, that wouldn't have happened because once he finished that Giants game, he had the career stats to say that I'm better than Wentz and I'm better than Goff.
Yeah, but you don't know if he would have. Who knows if he would have taken it? I mean, think about this. He's been fighting to get 30 this whole time. So, I mean, who knows? Like
23? No,
I said 25. I said 25. I said give him 25. After Nick Foles, there should have been a hard offer right then. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to, you know what I mean? Who's to say you had Jalen Smith take less money? You had freaking, who else just took less money that just got paid? Leo Collins just took less money?
We'll agree on this, that it surely wouldn't be what it is now. So all these wait and let's wait till Dak ride it out type fans, y'all the ones that's making it bad, and y'all the ones that's giving Jerry cover to continue this holdout process.
They the reason really going to get 40.
Yeah, y'all the reason he's gonna get $40
million.
Everybody is like, let's wait. No, I mean the writing was already on the wall, and the trajectory on Dak was already high.
Yep.
Like you can't look at the way he finished his last 8 with having no offseason with Cooper, and then imagine in your mind he gonna get worse.
Yeah,
that was your fault. That's not my fault. That's not West Coast fault because West Coast changed. You did. You know what I mean? So that is your fault. How can you look at a guy with no offseason ball, then say with the offseason he go get worse? How can you say a guy with bad play calling ball, then say with better play calling he go get worse? That's your fault. You know what I mean?
But you know what? That was also people not knowing. I mean, I always want to give the fans a little love, man, because you had a new offensive coordinator coming in. So it's like, there wasn't, unless you actually felt that Dak Prescott's issues had to do with play calling, because a lot of people didn't feel that way. A lot of people felt that his issues had to do with him. So even if you got new play calling, that was not going to change. You know what I'm saying? So I think that is something, that's probably the first kind of like smack in the face that most of these people are learning, that are like, damn. So maybe Dak, like I think there are people out there that really was like, so damn, maybe Dak was good in 2017. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe he was okay in 2017. You know what I'm saying? Maybe,
actually was very good in 2017. But you get what I mean, though? You
get what I mean, though? I think that was kind of like one of the first things that people had to come to the realization is that Dak wasn't, I mean, you can't win a Rookie of the Year, man, and be an average quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Circumstances and things happen.
Even calling him average was always an insult. It was always an insult, and it was always retarded, because what was average wasn't Dak. It was our style of offense. Yeah. When you're a heavy running team, it's your fault for expecting a heavy running team to put up 5,000 yards and 4,000 yards. It's your fault.
Yeah, that's you not setting the proper expectations.
That's you not setting the proper expectation, because the same people that's calling Dak average for being average in yards, which has nothing to do with him, that's the system, right?
Yeah.
It's the same people that's looking over the fact that Dak yards was higher than Romo best year, which was 2014. Right? Is that saying Romo was bad? No. Romo was in a running system in 2014 also. So he only put up about 3,700 yards. Was Romo bad? No. He was second run up to MVP that year. It was the system. He should have won. It was a system of offense. So everybody was basically hanging on all these propaganda statements that they was putting out there on Dak. Just because it's easy and you get a whole lot of ratings when you hate on Dallas, not even just Dak, it can be any player, right? And not thinking, not saying, hold on, what kind of system do we run? And why would I expect him to throw 4,000 yards in our system? You know, but now that we obviously don't switch to a passing system, now he on 5,000 yard pace. I'm not surprised. Are you surprised? No, I'm not. I mean, it's like, damn, he been throwing.
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't even necessarily think it's a passing system. Like, I want to go away from this passing system, running system, just like I want to go away from this, are you a Dak hater or a Dak lover? No, bro, I'm a Cowboy fan. You know what I'm saying? This is the system should predicate who you're playing.
No, true.
What are the
but
New England?
based on who we've been playing, we've been coming out with the pass. That's where we've been successful.
Exactly.
I agree. I agree with you on that. Like, I do want us to be super adaptable, which is your point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I don't want to get pigeonholed to where we are throwing team, just like I don't want to be pigeonholed for us being a running team. But right now, our opponents dictated pass.
So we should be throwing the ball.
And when we threw the ball, and just like this, because now it's gonna be common sense to people, but it's gonna be stuff we've been saying all the time. Like people been saying stuff like this. Well, I don't really believe Dak is that quarterback that can carry a team. I asked some guys, I forgot it was one of those guys off the 105.3 The Fan. I literally asked him to his face. I say, how can you say he hasn't carried a team with 14 game-winning drives? Isn't that the definition of carrying a team? He said, yeah, you're right. He said it right to my face. He said, you're right. To my face. Then went right on the air and started saying something different. Because deep down, people know what's true. It's because when you behind and you trying to get back in the game, you have to throw the ball. So the fact that he was only behind Tom Brady in game-winning drives, we saw what happened to Wentz when he was trying to have a game-winning drive yesterday, failed. You know what I mean? Yeah. But Dak has done that 14 times.
Yeah, and I mean, to be honest with you too, like, you know, not to overshadow anything, but Dak also damn near had 70 yards rushing on the ground. Zeke had a 111, freaking Dak was 5 for 69. So it's like, that's why I'm saying, like, Dak is doing, like, it like, this is the definite, like, I love it when I watch film on a team and then I can watch a game and I can tell that the people who get paid to actually watch games on these teams watch game on these teams. Because that would be a lot of time when we saw Scott Linehan, I'd be like, bro, did you watch the film? Like, did you actually watch the film on this team and see where these guys' are weaknesses at? And guess what? That's what you're lighting these guys up. Even on the run, we told you guys that there's two things that this team is susceptible to. Washington Redskins, they're susceptible to big passes over the top, and they're susceptible right up the middle. Well, guess what that run was? Dak take off. Dak steps back, takes a look, boom, 42 yards, running down the street. Dak, I'm gonna tell you right now, you need to get on that treadmill, big dog. I don't know what the hell you was doing, Dak.
Man, somebody, man, let me put out a conspiracy theory, man.
That sniper
you right, dude. He straight look like he ran out of gas.
He ran out of gas.
Hey, but this is CC. That's why I know you keep it at 100 and so am I. But check this out, man. I heard a good conspiracy theory, which I kind of believe. They say he slowed down because he wanted to stiff arm Josh Norman, and I can believe that too.
You know what I also think too, because when I was looking at the film. What I also think he did, too, is I honestly think that Dak thought in his mind that Josh Norman was going to catch him. So what I'm thinking he really did is I think he slowed down so that Gallup could block him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he can't. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's slowing down because you got to remember, Gallup can't touch him until Dak gets behind him. Because if not, it's a what? It's a block in the back.
Right, facts.
So Dak, I think he's trying to slow down so that Gallup can get in front of him, and then he can push the hell out of him. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's definitely, man. I'm glad you took me out of conspiracy because that's honestly also what makes way more sense. Is Dak was more so trying to make a play by allowing Gallup to get that block. You know,
it's like, you know how you stop and you go around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you sometimes because people do that when you're trying to make plays. You'll actually come to a stop to go around a guy. Yeah. But
go ahead.
But just going back real quick to Cowboy offense, I think the thing that we need to continue to push out there as loud as possible until it catch on is adaptable.
Yep.
Adaptable. Is that we, like you said, we're not a running offense, we're not a passing offense. We are like New England where we take what the defense gives us and we take it fast. If you show us that you injured in the secondary, best believe we're gonna attack that all day, and it's gonna be a low Zeke show. But if your front is weak, we finna pound it, and it's gonna be like Dak never existed, nor did Cooper, right? Yeah. I don't care either one. I don't care. It's just that as long as it's adaptable and smart according to the opponent.
Yeah. K Hayes on YouTube says he didn't know who was near him. Coming behind him, he knows he's not fast. He's talking about that last night. He had to have been talking about Josh Norman because he saw Michael Gallup on the side of his eye. You could tell he saw Michael Gallup.
Yeah.
Because Michael Gallup was already out there on the play. So even if he didn't see Michael Gallup, he would have known Michael Gallup should have been on that side because Dak Prescott knows the play. He called it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah, Gallup can't block. Gallup can block, but you guys got to remember, on a big play like that, it's not about blocking. It's about making sure that the referee doesn't see you block him in the back, or he's going to take that whole freaking run back. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you got to be kind of think about, like, is it worth it? You know what I'm saying? Do I want to, you know what I'm saying? Because if you do it wrong, if you're not side by side, they're going to throw a block in the back like that, and 15 of that yards is coming back.
Facts.
And now everybody's mad at Michael Gallup. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, one more thing I also want to say before we move on to the next subject of the Hot Boys is special shout out to the offensive line.
Yes.
Because they are starting to go back into like the no name and no acknowledgement type of thing, which is good.
Yep.
Because when you're not hearing about the offensive line, that's a good thing for a lot of reasons, right?
They ain't giving up sacks.
Yeah, they not giving up sacks. They're not causing holdings. And usually, like, offensive linemen historically have always been the unsung heroes of most teams, right? Especially good teams. Like, because you can't tell me Nick Foles would have been MVP without offensive line that year. No, he wouldn't have. But the key to making Nick Foles good in that Super Bowl was that he was untouched.
Yeah.
That was the key to it, that he was able to stand in a clean pocket, hardly even move, and just throw, right? Same thing happening with Dak right now. Dak can literally take naps back there. Like, literally everybody that's a fan should really go find Travis Frederick's email, Zach Martin's email, Connor Williams' email, and send them a PayPal link and put a couple of dollars in their pocket, because that's also the key to everything. And they show way better improvement on push off the ball.
Yeah.
Because for Zeke to get 100 yards on this team, no other team gonna really stand a chance, to be honest.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm looking in the NFC, man, and with everything that's happening with everybody, man, there's not a team in the NFC that I am afraid of going to, that I had worry about going to even see them at their own house. Like, there's no team. I think the only team that I would really be up on my iffies on is probably like going into Seattle. But to be honest with you, the way we're playing and our schedule, what we have, they'll play in a playoff situation. They probably gonna have to come to us. You know what I'm saying? Because they still got the Rams in their division. So, I mean, that's going to be one of them teams. And that's the best part about their division, is one of those teams are going to get smacked by the other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
I heard you.
Go ahead.
I heard you make a point yesterday in the scout thread that I think is a just real point. This is not cocky speech. This is not Cowboy delusion speech. But West Coast said this in 100% degree. I don't see any NFC team that I don't think that we on paper are way better than.
Yeah.
The only teams to fear right now on paper, New England and Kansas City.
My boy Travis, who's a scout, man. Come on, Travis. Come on, OG Banks. He talking about some. What about Chicago and Minnesota?
Minnesota on paper is dangerous.
Minnesota, yeah, but I'm
on paper.
Let me say something real quick.
But I feel like we better.
Let me say something. I was talking to the homie, and shout out to the homie SK over there at the Skull Report, Minnesota Vikings blogger. Had his baby this morning. Shout out to him, man. I'll make sure I get your gift in the mail. You already know what it is. But I was talking to him, man. And he's talking. I was like, "What's up, man? How you feel?" And he's like, "Bro, remember when I told you in the offseason I was going to give Kirk Cousins?" He's like, "I'm done, bro. It's Kirk." He's like, "It's him." He's like, "It's him, bro." He's like, "It's him." That's what he said. He's like, "Bro, straight up." And then I'm going to tell you, that was the first thing he said. And then in our conversation, I said something else that was like, I just thought about this. I will never be afraid of a team that cannot score. I won't be. Minnesota, man, not Minnesota, but Chicago, bro, they can't score. Mitch Trubisky is not a good quarterback.
No.
And their defense does not. Their defense is good, but we didn't play it against some good defenses. Like, we didn't play it against some stout defenses before. Like, that Saints defense of last year, that team scares me more than the Minnesota, than any. You get what I mean? Like, the best team I think we probably played in the last 2 years is that Saints team we played last year. And I don't see no team in the NFC, except for our team, that even mimics a team like that. A team that can score at will and stop you from scoring. Bro, Chicago can't score.
Right.
And their quarterback is below average.
I think I'm getting ready to write an article. You know what it's going to be? 2019 is almost God-made to really disprove all the false theories on Dak.
Yeah.
Because according to the Dak theory, a running game is supposed to make you an all-world quarterback. Well, Minnesota right now is leading in rushing, and we're not seeing that, are we?
Nah, and think about this. Minnesota also has a
With two top 5 paid receivers.
$15 million on the left side, $16 million on the left side. Imagine
Yeah.
paying $31 million for wide receivers and they're not even effective in the game.
Right. So it's like, and Cousins is the guy that some people still say is better than Dak. I heard I call him a Romo Coat member because he's just always against Dak, and it's
Don't
because
put Romo.
Romo.
Yeah, don't put Romo name on it. Romo ain't do
No,
nothing
but
about that.
I'm talking about this particular guy,
Yeah.
and it's because of Romo. But and he clearly said that. Like he literally said he won't Romo to return. That's how crazy he is. But like he literally said Kirk Cousins is better than Dak. And I said, Dak is 4-0 against Kirk Cousins, and you still saying that Kirk Cousins is better. And people like that, I really understand why they Romo fans, because Romo ball was exciting. You know what I mean? He threw the ball downfield a lot, and he got you off your feet if you was a fan. Dak style is more kind of boring a little bit. You know what I mean? It can be boring, but if you like wins, it's almost like me. I love Mayweather, but some people think he boring. I love his fighting style. I love it. I love that you can't hit him and that he fights smart. But same thing with Dak, And so it's one of those things to where it's these theories that's out there just don't make sense, because Kirk Cousins right now, with everything that he has, should be on the MVP level. If the theory on Dak was true, that running games cause you to be a superior quarterback or to play real good. And that's just not true, which tells me, really, you got to do your own job. There's nobody carrying your quarterback.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, and to be honest with you, like, I don't think any team person should be in a position to have to. I mean, if you're in a position where you need one person to carry a team is consisted of like 11 people playing, you're probably not in a good position. Like, that's not how teams are supposed to be built anyway. Like, nobody is building a team so that you can have it so that one person is carrying you. Like, that's not a good situation. Like, you get what I mean? That's winning because somebody else lost. I mean, that's just, you want to, I don't even get that. But
it's just not even realistic. So it just shows you that the standard that was put on a quarterback after 3 years of playing was just retarded in the first place. Yeah, you don't ask any quarterback within their first 3 years to carry anything.
Yeah, let's talk about Zeke for a little bit, man. So Ezekiel Elliott, 23 carries, 111 yards on the game. He had 4.8 yards per carry and 1 touchdown. I mean, I loved what I saw from Ezekiel Elliott. I think when he did, it was funny because when Ezekiel Elliott finally got that touchdown yesterday, instead of doing the feed me sign, he did the strong sign. You know what I'm saying? Why?
Yeah.
Because Zeke understood that this defensive line was banging, man. Like, this defensive line, like Zeke realized when we was telling y'all that this defensive line was legit. Let me give you guys an example of this. Well, I mean, just think about this, right? Ezekiel Elliott goes for 111, 48 yards. So they was keep keying in on Zeke, right? Dak has 5 carries for 70 yards. That's half of what he has. So you know what that lets me know? That there's going to be times where teams are going to key in so much on Ezekiel Elliott running the ball that you're still going to have opportunities for other guys to run the ball and get out there and move that thing. So I love what I saw from the running game. It wasn't so overtly, like they didn't try to overkill us with, like, you'd be eating somebody's food and you'd be like, damn, you put too much salt in this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't get to that point with the offense, or it didn't get that way with the passing, nor did it get that way with the defense. Like, it was just enough blend for each ones. And to be honest with you, at the end of that game, I wasn't surprised because I knew Zeke was gonna get the 100 piece, but like I was actually kind of surprised that that he had the 111, because I was like, dang, man, that defensive line was doing a really good job of keying him in. You know what I'm saying? But the cool thing about it is this also breaks Ezekiel Elliott's streak, because typically he doesn't hit that 100-yard mark until like week 3, week 4. You know what I'm saying? But he hit that thing week 2, so it lets me know that even Ezekiel Elliott is starting to hit his full stride, and I'm absolutely loving it, man.
I agree. I had none of that.
All right, let's go on to these Hot Boys, man. The defense yesterday. Defense, I know a lot of people. I'm going to read off these stats real quick. Jalen Smith had 8 tackles, 3 assists. Byron Jones had 8 tackles from the cornerback position. Xavier Woods had 4 tackles from the safety position. Van Der Esch had 3 tackles. Jeff Heath had 3 tackles. Anthony Brown had 2 tackles. And then you have your first defensive lineman with Dorrance Armstrong with 2 tackles. Think about this. linebacker, safety, safety, linebacker, safety, cornerback. Those are your top 6 tacklers. You know what that lets me know? There's not a problem with our defense. It's a problem with your defensive line. Let's talk about that for a minute.
Yeah, so to be honest, I think what's going to happen is Quinn is going to be the domino that's going to solve all of this, because it's a lot of people that's to me out of position because of the right defensive end.
Because they're trying to trade a guy that we could be using to play. I mean, it's weird.
Yep, yeah. I mean, it made everything discombobulated, like straight up. Like we saw Tank on the right side. They tried that, didn't look good.
Oh my God, it don't look
Wasn't
good.
a good look. I mean, for a lot of reasons, like when you've been basically spending most of your career on the left side, you pretty much got your timing, your rhythm, your ways to counter tackles. All of that is in sync when you're coming from the left side. Then they put you on the right side and say kind of reverse engineer that at an all-pro level. It would take a while. I think Tank could do it, but I would have to give him at least 4 games. You know what I mean? But so
and
they
he didn't practice, and he didn't play in preseason. So it's like when did he practice this?
Yeah. So we saw that. So basically, the right side crippled him until we put him back on the left side, which he did start getting pressure. Then also we have Crawford playing DN. We all know Crawford is no DN, so we might as well bum it on that, right?
Kerry Hyder playing DN too. When did he play DN in preseason? He's a D tackle.
We just discombobulated, and that's really the only thing that's happened. I'm not gonna panic, because I almost bet anybody $1 million that once we get a tight right end, it's gonna make everything just look beautiful. Because then we're gonna be able to move Crawford back to the 3 tech. That's gonna help our run D. That's where he's also natural. That's where he makes his best plays. You know, it's gonna set off the right domino effect. What we looking at is the effect of not playing Taco. And I know that's our next point. I'm not going to even go over that real heavy, but since we just on the hot boys and just kind of talking about the problem with our defensive line, I want to kind of switch to what I think is going to fix it, you know? And then we just don't know when they're going to reinstate Gregory, but how can you not reinstate him when you reinstated pretty much everybody else? Goodell, what are you doing?
Or what is Randy doing, because he ain't fouled? I know I've been.
And you know Randy foul. Like, why would Randy not foul? Right?
Why would Jerry not let him foul?
And then they also talked about him, because remember I wrote that article on the buy and hold strategy in the Landry hat, right, about him likely being able to play this season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it looked like Goodell being Goodell again, to where he want to kind of slap Jerry a little bit. Like we go release Gordon. And before the season, we're gonna allow Gordon to be an asset to Brady, but we're not gonna allow Gregory to be an asset to Dallas. Yeah. With the same issue. You know what I mean? And was also suspended around the same time. So it's almost like you standing in line and you waiting on your food, and you see this couple getting their food before you, and you still waiting on your food, and then they talking about check please, and you still waiting. That's exactly what's going on.
Happened?
Like we got here at the same time at least, and that's exactly what happened with Gordon and Gregory. They were suspended around the same time, indefinite suspension, around March, and so, it was announced. But the crazy thing is just, when he gets back, it's going to be even better. So I think it's really just kind of waiting on that Quinn domino to hit. And once we get Quinn, it's going to put everybody in their natural positions, and we go be on.
Yeah. I mean, I want to talk about this real quick for DeMarcus Lawrence. I'm going to tell you an amazing stat. Cedric Cobb had more tackles than DeMarcus Lawrence yesterday. I want to know, what do the Hot Boys do to adjust to these teams that are flat out just getting the ball out faster than they can get to the damn quarterback? Like, every quarterback is like, and I feel for Tank yesterday, because you're not going to tell me that Tank was not effective, because Tank was all over. Like, Tank almost had 2 sacks, but they just got the ball out too damn fast. How do you adjust to this, man? How do you adjust to teams that are just going to flat out get the ball out faster?
Stop the run, in my opinion, and then you have to run a defense that makes it hard to make quick throws. So, like, if you run in zones and you going against a team that know how to read a zone, where the receivers know how to read that zone, and they in sync with the quarterback, and they on the same page, they go get the ball out quick. So you have to me, run a defense to where it's really more so about my man beat your man, and that you have to give that quarterback that hesitation based on losing or the matchups losing. You see what I'm saying? So like if they in man coverage and Byron Jones is somebody hip and Anthony Brown is somebody hip and Jordan Lewis is in somebody hip, then that's going to make a person like Brady hesitate. But if y'all running cover 2 or cover 3 and they just able to pick the pockets, then they go just be able to get that ball out. So I think it's challenging the receivers. I think that answers your question. That's one, and then 2, stopping the run.
At the line. Challenging them at the line.
Yeah, challenging them at the line. I agree. Like at the line. And that's to me where I saw us at our best last year, is where we was challenging receivers, we was press man, and we was saying, you just going to have to beat us. You're going to have to make a great throw because everything's going to be tight today. And that gave our pass rush time. But if we play conservative and we say we're going to play zone and we just go keep everything in front of us, then smart teams and well-coached teams are going to get the ball out on us.
And that's quick. And then to be honest with you, and I'm going to tell you what's funny. And I said this, Boss Cowboy agreed with it, so we both get credit for it. I'm going to tell you who put this tape out on us. The LA Rams.
Yeah.
Because that's what the Rams did. Everybody's like, where's DeMarcus Lawrence? Where was he in that playoff game? Well, did you see how fast they was getting the ball off? Like, It wasn't no 3-step read. Like, it was literally one read, ball out. Run read, ball out. One read, ball out. One read, ball out. You know what I'm saying?
You got to put teams in, you got to put teams in must-throw situations. So that's why, to me, it start with stopping the run. If you can't stop the run and make it a 2nd and 12, hitting them behind the line of scrimmage, or 2nd and 10, 3rd and 10, where they in must-throw situations, then you're going to limit Tank's ability to be effective. Because Tank's ability to be effective is more so going to be in passing downs where he can really get the quarterback.
Yeah. Another thing I want to look at, just looking at these stats real quick. When I first look at these stats, I see Byron Jones had 8 total tackles, right? And I'm like, dang, good job, Byron Jones. If you was like a linebacker or a defensive end, D tackle or something. But when I see a corner have 8 tackles on a game, and I go look at the quarterback, and the quarterback didn't run one time, you know what that tells me, Byron? You know what that tells me about Byron Jones? He was letting a lot of receivers catch passes and then tackling them.
Yeah. And McLaurin, I would say this on Byron Jones.
You talking about the little white boy?
No, that's the Mr. Irrelevant.
We need to stop calling him that.
That's
nice.
who he is, though, man.
I know, but we need to stop calling him that.
He's relevant.
Because he's nice.
He relevant against Anthony Brown, though. He relevant against everybody else. But I'll say this. I'm looking at my notes, and I'm looking at exactly what happened. In the first half, I must say this, and this is the truth. Byron Jones won the matchup on McLaurin, number 17, the rookie receiver out of Ohio State. The second half, McLaurin beat the dog snot out of Jones.
Yep, he was just letting them catch the ball. He was just letting them catch the ball and tackle him.
But this is to Jones' defense. McLaurin played way above his rookie status. Like McLaurin looked real good, bro. Like very mature for a rookie, man. Like even that touchdown on Jones, I can't even be mad at Jones because you got your hand in the bread basket. You know what I mean? You right there, bro. That's just one of those. A good athlete made a play. Like I could see if he was just way out of position.
But see, this is the thing about it though. If you're telling me now you have guys who can out athleticism Byron Jones, then I'm really not about to pay you because that's one of the foundations of me keeping you.
McLaurin ran a low 4.3 at the combine. This is a raw dude.
I get that. But this was not a play where it was just he outspeeding him. And then what happened on the play on the third down when Byron Jones just didn't even turn his head around? Like the ball just like he still
did turn his head around, like, and the ball was out of bounds, and that was a panic. I want to see you turn around because you was in position. You might as well turn around and look for the ball. You know, But I'm just like, in my assessment of Byron Jones, he went up against a guy that just beat him in the second half, and he beat the dog snot out of Jones in the second half. But at the same time, this is Jones' first game really back. You know what I mean?
Last week was his first game back.
And I'm talking about like actually starting. You know what I mean? You right, he back. No, I agree. I mean, but coming off a hip, you know, just kind of getting loose, I would say Jones played really, really good. Like if he would have continued that first half, Jones would have been like, boy, you balled. But McLaurin just won the matchup in the second half. And I'm very happy that that's the if that's your first game back starting as a starter and you play like that, I'm cool with it. Because I think as the season goes on, he's going to get better legs under him. And I think he's going to get even better. Now, what I agree with you on is I still don't think that Jones has the instincts to be like a ball guy to where he go get the ball. But every catch on him, he was right there. At least that.
Yeah, but this is the thing about it. Yeah, he was right there watching the wide receiver catch the ball so that he could tackle him. Like, I'm not knocking him on that. Like, great job.
He was in position, bro.
Yeah, great job.
No, let me tell you what you don't want. What you don't want is the Anthony Brown stuff. It's where they catch the ball and then because they able to take off on you because you gave them that much separation.
Man, I put it to you like this. Byron Jones, out of them dudes, is the only one trying to get $14 million right now. So Anthony Brown ain't asking for you. You know, Anthony Brown's a 6th-round pick. So it's like I can't even really consider Anthony Brown and Byron Jones in the same subject. Like, Anthony Brown should still have his growing pains. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't go to a Pro Bowl season last year. Like, once you get just like with Dak Prescott, when you put him in that franchise quarterback lane, you have to start looking at him and evaluating him like all the other franchise quarterbacks. What they do, their mistakes, When you got to look at that same thing. Byron Jones, bruh, you Pro Bowler now. You should not. Anthony Brown ain't no Pro Bowler. Like, so I don't even. And he's a slot. He's not playing on the boundary. Like,
I saw very little things that had Byron Jones off. Very little. Like, if I'm his coach, bruh, I'm happy.
I mean, you know why you're happy? You're happy considering.
Exactly. It's almost like considering the things you have to correct. That's like, see, when I look at him, the slant that was caught on him in an in-breaking route, right? Yeah. You know what messed him up? His eyes. And our coach used to always tell us this, and it's still true to this day. And I don't care if I'm watching a pro game or college game. I'm going to tell y'all right now, as a scout, how to really know if a DB messed up. If you see them looking at the quarterback, you will always see the receiver separated. Mm-hmm. And my coach used to always say, if you see him throw it, you go see him catch it. And that's what happened with Byron Jones. When he made that in-breaking route, the only thing Byron should have did was kept his eyes on the man until he was in position to then make a play on the ball. But what he did is when he made the in-breaking route, he looked at the quarterback, he got slight separation, he made a good throw, and then Byron tackled him. That's little adjustments, though. You know what I mean? Like with Anthony Brown, that's like, bro, it's almost like you got to start from scratch.
Yeah, but at the same, that's why I keep saying no. But I'm okay. I'm necessarily okay with Anthony Brown because the route trees that he's going to be running are keeping guys in front of him, and he has the quickness. Byron Jones, man, this is just my thing with him. I'm gonna give him a little love. Why? Because the exact same love. It's funny because Byron Jones is coming back from injury just like DeMarcus Lawrence is coming back from injury. The only difference is you'll give one love and not the other one love. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because I just gave an example. I gave D-Law love a couple minutes ago, and now I don't want to give Byron Jones. So we got to be fair with both of them.
I'll say with Byron Jones, West Coast, let's do him like we did Dak last year when Cooper came, right? Where we said, let's look at it for 3 games. Remember that?
Well, the real question is there someone better? I mean, or when you're saying he's not good, West Coast, are you saying it because there's someone better? Because if there's no one better, then you just gotta stop complaining. You get what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? If I pull Byron Jones out, who am I putting in his replace? Maybe Jordan Lewis.
Yeah, Jordan Lewis wouldn't be that big of a drop off,
and he wouldn't. So that's why I be looking at Byron Jones like, because I see by Jordan Lewis having effect and making plays on this game. I also see quarterbacks. I would love to see the percentage of throws that they do at Jordan Lewis. Because if you guys notice, they don't throw at Jordan Lewis.
No.
Like, that's defense within itself. Just like Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman went to the Pro Bowl, All-Pro, 2 years in a row. Why? Didn't even lead the NFL in interceptions. He got them, but he never led them. Want to know why? Because teams wouldn't even throw the ball to him. Like I believe there are teams that have respect for Jordan Lewis that won't even throw him the ball.
Yeah, and this is what the film says on Jordan Lewis. Jordan Lewis loses on about 3 things. Number 1, he'll lose if he slips. Sanders beat him when he was playing against Denver because he slipped.
On that little cut, on that little
outbreaking, on that outbreaking route, that was a slip, right? When he lost in the Detroit game versus Tate, he slipped, right? So bad footing would be the only reason you'll see Jordan Lewis lose. You'll always see him. You'll see him also lose against somebody that's just a way better athlete and way bigger, right?
John, I can tell you the game. I'm gonna tell you the game you're talking about right now without even asking you. You're talking about the Packers game.
Yep, Packers game, exactly. Yep, and then Jeffries got him on a slant route for a touchdown in 2017. So much bigger athlete, and made a real good catch. It still took good catches on both of them, but that's the only time you're going to see him lose. And then obviously Adams, right? And that had to be a perfect throw.
Adams, and that was more Rodgers than it was Adams.
That was Rodgers, and that was, the timing on that throw is like, it was perfect. You could tell they worked on it on off season because they went right back at it. Like, we didn't get that quite right. Let's do it again. You know what I mean?
The exact
same play. And I take that if you got to go in my corner twice, right? That means that the first time he won and the second time Adam won, and they had an off season versus Lewis did. Yep. You know what I mean? That's all you gonna see on Lewis on bad plays right there. The 3 I named, or the 4 we named. That's it. Other than that. For his whole career playing with Dallas, you don't see number playmaking.
Yeah, and think about this: when Dez was on this team, who was Dez going at? Who was giving Dez the problem? Lewis. Jordan Lewis. You know what I'm saying?
Jordan Lewis.
That don't mean something. Hey, man, I got us as a conspiracy theorist, man. Somebody told me that we were talking about it yesterday, and we brought this up, man. Freaking, isn't it funny how the Dallas Cowboys always bring Jason Witten in right around like the 5 or 6 yard line? Do you guys know that he's only 4 touchdowns away from being the all-time Dallas Cowboys scoring leader? And guess what? They're gonna force him that. They're gonna make sure Jason Witten gets that record this year.
Yeah, no doubt. Like
4 more touchdowns to get it because Dez is at 73.
Yeah, I mean it's not even a conspiracy theory. It's
obvious. That's obvious. Like he's gonna
They're targeting Jason Witten in the red zone, and right now I can't even be mad at it because
it's working. Because it's working.
And it's a lot of people that want Dez to kind of continue to have that record, but at this point I don't.
Yeah,
I'd rather Witten get it because if Witten get it, that means he performing. And right now, just Dez is in the past, So I have to root for Witten right now. You know what I mean? Even though I feel like they personally did Dez bad, I'm not gonna go against Witten because of that. I'm going for Witten. You know what I mean? And it's also Witten is somebody you can trust, right? So like you said perfectly in the beginning, you can't trust Jarwin on this. Not Jarwin. You said Schultz. You can't, right? Because he don't have the speed, right? But you can trust Witten to do all the little things right, like sail the run, sail the block. You know what I mean? Yeah. On that play action against the Giants, right? He sold it like he was run and then released, right?
He sold it ridiculously, too.
He sold the hell out of it.
He actually blocked.
He looked like he was blocking and just released on him. Those are the small details that make the play believable, that got him open for the touchdown, right? Same thing what they did with the pick route on this one, right? In this pick route, what they did is they had Jarwin lined up outside and they had Witten lined up on the inside like a slot, and they ran a pick play. Now, Witten don't have the speed, and he had a real good rookie defending him, the rookie out of North Carolina, the linebacker. But he made the best acceleration he could out that break, and he won, sure-handed catcher, touchdown. And if he does that all season, I don't have no problem with him breaking Dez's record.
Yeah, and the cool thing I like about it is if Jason Witten touches it in his hands, he's catching the freaking ball because he does such a good job of keeping the ball out here.
Yeah.
That's a Hall of Fame trait. Like just the ability to just do that. It's like basketball. When you clear a ball, you always keep it here. Why? Because then that's less opportunity for them to grab the ball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So every time, if you notice, every time, and Jason Witten is so trained to do it, he'll literally hold the ball out there sometimes until someone takes it to his hands.
Oh no, Witten a fool.
He never brings it into his body.
In a good way.
Right here.
Adam asked a question. So that's the only reason Whitney's back to get a touchdown record. No, West Coast not saying that.
It kind of is. It's part of it though.
Yeah, but
Part
but
of it
but
is.
he's there. See, this is where politics go work for us. To be honest, you know what I mean?
Yep.
It's political. Like, let's just be honest. It's political, but it's a fit here, right? It ain't nothing wrong with you having a favorite when your favorite actually execute.
Exactly.
I don't like favorites when your favorite not execute.
When your favorite
you know what I
getting
mean?
beat going down the
Yeah,
sidelines.
because all of us said this, that Whitney was gonna help the what?
Red zone. That's at $2
See,
million.
and see,
score
I didn't
touchdowns.
finish the sentence. West Coast finished the sentence, right? I didn't finish it. I just said Whitney was gonna help the what?
Red $2 million to score touchdowns. That's what we've always
Yeah.
been. That's what we've been banking
Right.
on. $2
And
million
so
to
I'm
score
not going to
touchdowns.
be mad now that he's doing that, even at the expense of Dez record. I mean, and it's what it is. What I pray is that karma never catch up to us on Dez. But at the same time, I'm not going to go against my original judgment and West Coast's original judgment that having Witten back was going to at least affect the red zone. And then I'm definitely not mad because I checked the snap counts and I'm looking at Witten only playing 66% of the snaps. I'm happy. It's like, that's what I wanted. I didn't want Whitney in 98% of the snaps. I'm seeing him getting 66% of the snaps. It's a win-win. So I'm not going to bitch about it at all. It's like, no, it's like, look, bro, do your job. Do what you came here to do. And that's what he's doing.
Mm-hmm. It's like dirty politics. I don't agree with it unless it's working for me.
Exactly. And that's just what it is.
Yeah,
I mean,
I will not agree with it unless
now
it works for me.
this is the dumb part though, West Coast. This is where it could catch up to us. Because if you're a defensive coordinator and you come to that logic, then what you're gonna start doing going forward is keying in on Whitney in the red zone.
Yeah.
So what's working for us now can work against us because of politics. That's the bad thing about being predictable at who you want to target in the red zone. But early, I'm cool with it.
Yeah. Hey, we got let's move on to this next one, man. So yeah, Taco just put out Mark Lane from Mark Lane is a big time Twitter guy and out there he works for 103 The Fan. And he tweeted right now, he said, Cowboys CEO Stephen Jones tells 103 The Fan, some of the position flex is why Taco Charleston has not been activated. They like Joe Jackson's position flex availability. And then Taco took that same tweet and he tweeted, free me with two eyeballs. So it's getting to the nasty zone. I mean,
It's nasty, been nasty.
The only reason why Joe has flexibility is because Taco's not playing. Like, that's why. Like, you created a problem by creating a problem. You know what I'm saying? And now you can't even fix the problem because the solution is putting Taco back. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. Let's just be real, right? This draft class was not good. You know what I'm saying? And it's not even like, oh, Lord, let me take it back. Let me take that back. Let me digress. Let me bring it back.
It's not instant impact.
Yes, like they're exactly what we said they were. We draft a draft full of backups. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
You're trying to force it. You drafted Taco in the first round, and you're finally getting what you drafted for, what you paid for. Think about this. You have paid more money to Taco than most of this draft class. You got more money invested in Taco than you have in Tony Pollard, in Joe Jackson, in Tristan Hill, probably combined. And you don't want to pay him because you see publicity flex in Joe Jackson, even though you released his son, Mike Jackson? Like, this doesn't make no sense, bruh. 2019 draft class, it like everybody, I'm going to be honest with you. I love me Tony P, and this is part of the show where West Coast got to keep it real. So if you don't like, you may want to log off. But let's just be real, y'all. Tony P ain't no Zeke. I love him, though, but he not no Zeke. You know what I'm saying? So, with that, all this stuff that they sold us about this, and Tristan Hill is only going to be active this week because Antoine Woods is going to be deactivated. Connor McGowan is not playing in 2019. While we on the subject, Mike Jackson, Michael Jackson, he back in Never Neverland. He ain't even on the team no more. Donovan Wilson, the only hope that we have for this draft class is, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I like Tony P, but I absolutely hate the way we're using him. We're using Tony P like he's a regular backup running back. Like, we're not using him as a tool. We're not using him as this little, when you pull out, on Harlem Nights when all they got the big old guns, then you got that little gun, they be like, pow! You know what I'm saying? We're not even using him as our secret weapon. We're usually literally using Tony Pollard as if he's a backup running back. So it's like, that defeats the purpose. That defeats the purpose. Why isn't Tony running some of these screens? Like, I'm 100% okay with retiring Zeke from the screen and just letting Tony Pollard do it. Like, I'm totally fine with doing that. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because we need a running back who can get out on that edge because Zeke and Tyron Smith are both getting on the edge around the same time. And then guess what? It ain't fast enough. That's why the screen don't work. That's why it's not effective anymore. Use it with Tony P. But I'm just saying, boss, everybody said that it's so funny, boss, because we need to promise to never do this again. After that draft class, we sat up and we said, man, well, we was a little too tough on them Cowboys. Man, maybe we need to kind of cool it down a little bit. But bruh, no, we was right. This whole draft class is a draft of backups. Praise God to Donovan Wilson.
Yeah, and a couple of things. Buddha said.
Connor McGoran, stop it.
Buddha just said Gallup is out for 2 to 6 weeks. 2 to 4 weeks. So before I go back to Taco, because you said a lot, then we can definitely address that breaking news. First of all, what I hate about the Taco thing and what Steven just put out there is honestly treating the fan base like we're dumb. That's what's the most insulting thing about this is you're saying that it's position flex, as if Joe Jackson has just shown you that he's just so much of a value that he can play inside and outside. So that's why you're not playing Taco. When everybody is seeing that our pass rush on the right side is basically non-existent, right? And you pull out the person that's the bottom of the totem pole to really try to say that Taco is on the level of Joe Jackson. I'm not saying Joe Jackson won't rise. I'm not saying that he eventually won't become a great player. But to say that Joe Jackson is on Taco level right now is a pure lie. And it's telling us to our face that what we saw in preseason in that competition wasn't real. And it's wrong. And it's one of those things to where I already know a lot of the people that drink front office Kool-Aid are going to take this and they go run with it. Oh, no, it's because of position flex. It's position flex of why they're not making him active. And then it's sloppy because they sending out multiple messages. They sending out stuff saying that we want to trade them. Then they sending out excuses on why they're not making them active. It's insulting us. And we all seeing the weakness on our defense. So the Taco stuff is just like, look, yeah, go ahead and trade him, because I saw somebody on the thread say if Taco don't want to be here, he need to be gone. Let me ask you a question. If you was a Taco, would you want to be here? They lying on you. They putting people in front of you that you better than, and stuff like that. They taking your developmental reps,
No, you're just going to be loyal to your job because you think there's only 32 jobs in the world. So yeah, there's only, if you work at Walmart, remember you can only work at that Walmart. It's different than the NFL because you got to remember, like, if these guys can't just up and leave their Walmart. They kind of gotta stay there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they can't. They don't have a choice to just be like, So that's the biggest difference. Like at your job, there's other Walmarts you can go work at. Like, man, you know what? I don't like this Walmart. I'm out. You know what I'm saying? It's not like that in Dallas. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like that in the NFL in general.
Yeah, and my thing is, and I was on record. I still say this. I feel like Taco's a mama's boy. I feel like he's a little bit spoiled. I talked about this with West Coast yesterday. I really do believe he's a grown man that's spoiled. I feel like he got an attitude problem. And what really revealed it to me in the offseason when Tank was paid, right? And he came out and said it wasn't even my idea of the hot boys and all this kind of stuff. I didn't even want to know if I wanted to be a hot boy. He said something like that, which was real selfish because it's the day your boy got paid. It's the day you complaining about being a hot boy, which showed that you kind of petty. But you know what? I get real forgiving when you play good. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I could change my mind real quick. I was on record saying I wanted him off the team then. But after seeing him play, I changed my mind. And I reserved the right to do that, and I did it. You know what I mean? But it's like Dallas doesn't. It's like Dallas, once they kind of make up their mind on you, they don't let you off that doghouse. They don't come back and say, you know what? We changed. They come back and say, no, we expect that person to change. Or even when they do change, we go treat them like they never changed.
Yeah, and now, and I'm gonna tell you the dirty business between the Dallas Cowboys is that now we have drama that should have been taken care of in the offseason that we're having to take care of now. Why? Because you have public players on a winning team asking to be released. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, and see the big thing that you said that a lot of people ignoring that's huge. It's a bigger message that's being sent with Taco and Lewis, and it's what you said about 3 days ago, and I'm gonna repeat it. You basically saying practice and performance don't matter to Dallas. You having a mixed message. You saying this. You saying in public, we want a certain kind of player that practices a certain kind of way and plays a certain kind of way, and they earn their reps. But we watching two people that's earned their reps, that's played well, and y'all worried about attitude.
Yeah.
I think Jimmy Johnson manages this type of stuff better than this current Cowboy organization does. Like Jimmy Johnson managed the bad players and the attitude players. Oh, like let's not forget how Aikman went off on Switzer, on Barry Switzer, on the sideline. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this monkeying around coming from our head coach. This is coming from the top guy. But you know what? We dealt with it, we put it to bed, and we won a Super Bowl, right? Yep. But we want this is what we tell Will McClay now. We want you to get the best athletes, and they have to have the best attitude.
Yeah.
If the attitude is off, we're gonna not play them, and we're gonna blame you. So Will McClay said this: what I've learned since I've been here is I need to make sure that I do a personality assessment when I like the player. So he's not even just judging you based on tape anymore. He got to bring you in and do a psycho analysis on you.
Yeah. Hey, boss, before we get out of here, man, because I got to call my wife before she clock in. Real quick, what is your moving around? Jeezy's out. MGZ's out 2 to 4 weeks. What you doing at wide receiver? Hey, and before we stop, man, we got this dude is a celebrity, man. This dude is you know how you be in your work and it'd be like it have an extinguisher right here and it says break in curse of emergencies. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Producer G, Gary Larkin's on the page, man. He is the blogger's break in case of emergency. And I'm gonna be honest with you, right? Last night I broke the glass and I had to reach in there and grab Producer D and stole him on here, man. At 2, it was up to like 2 o'clock in the morning, getting this feed rocking. So I just want to let him know I truly appreciate you, and I appreciate the fact that you said it sounds so much better.
Oh yeah, man. Thank you, G, producer.
Hey, so real quick, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts on Gallup, man, is this next man up, bro. Like we saw Devin,
that's what I'm saying.
Devin Smith, we saw him rising, right? And we already know Cobb is doing this thing, as long as we got our main number one. Because remember, we was doing good with our main number one as Gallup was just a learning up-and-coming receiver last year. Mm-hmm. So it's too many bad luck that's worse on other teams for me to panic. I'm sorry. I think losing Breeze is way bigger than losing Gallup.
Well, yeah, he's a quarterback.
Right. So I'm just like, because I can feel the tension in the air, like, it's like, yes, we lost an advantage, but it's other people that we face that's in way worse situations than we are and up and coming. So thank God we still have the privilege of having a game without Breeze, right? And having a game, versus Miami. That's going to be 2 games that's going to allow him to heal. So by the time he get back, we'll be all right. You know what I mean? We just got to weather the storm. We saw us weather the storm without Dez when Dak was a rookie. So I'm surely not going to panic over losing a number 2 receiver. Not yet. Now we lost Cooper. Oh yeah, it's panic time.
Yeah, because Gallup hasn't. The good thing about losing Gallup is Gallup hasn't. I mean, well, he's getting there, but not even a good thing because it's not a good thing at all. But I'm just saying, just trying to find a silver lining is definitely that praise God it wasn't your number one because one of those guys has to demand that, has to ask for that double coverage to back up, and they're not really giving it to Jeezy right now. But I definitely think that Jeezy's in a role where we should be able to plug and play, like my boy Willie said, someone in that role and try to see if he's able to get that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to see Randall Cobb getting moved on the outside, and I want to keep him exactly where he is.
Slot.
Slot. I would actually have no problem. I would actually put a guy in, like, probably freaking Devin Smith. Devin, you mean use him?
Yeah, Devin Smith, yeah. And thank God that his confidence should be now growing at the right time, bro. Like, so it's like I could see if we just pulled him just out of nowhere. But no, he's made enough plays to where in
He should
his
be
mind,
okay.
he should be like, okay, I belong. You know what I mean? That it should even almost feel like fate to him. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like all this bad luck all happened because it was for me to be here, almost feeling like destiny, right? Almost destiny is breaking for him like it broke for Dak, right? Where Dak was the fourth rounder. Then Shaw was get hurt. Then, Kellen break his ankle. Then Romo, and all of a sudden it's destiny. Devin Smith is almost should kind of have that feeling like stuff is breaking for me because the game broke open because of him, So it's like he's a second rounder. Gallup was a third rounder. Because see, if Gallup and Smith came in at the same time, we would still be happy about the results we seeing from Smith. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So the way I see it is it's going to be obviously a knockdown not having Gallup, but I don't think it's going to really, really kill us. It's going to hurt us. It's going to hurt us, but it's not going to kill us.
Yeah, I want to read this last statement before we get out of here, man. On Stephen Jones, he says, "Well, I think it's just some flexibility, position flex when you're talking about backup roles. Certainly, that's where Taco is, and I think our feeling is that Joe Jackson can play both sides. We've been having Taco more one side, and so it's just a matter of finding one right time and place to get that going again. Certainly, he had a great preseason." And we feel like if given the opportunity, he could help us fit in. So we'll continue to work on that and see what makes it. It looks like they backtracking now.
Yeah, because they might be losing their trade partner. Yep. See, but you lost your trade partner, but you insulted your up-and-coming DN. And then, like, don't be that fan that's like, if you don't want to be here, it's like, look, man, okay, I tell you what, if I can come spit in your face, then I hear that argument, right? If I can publicly embarrass you, and then he said it out of his own mouth in that statement there that he had not a good preseason. What did you just read?
Let me see if I can find the post. He said a great.
I'll go ahead and say it. Great.
He had a great.
He didn't say good. He said great. Yeah, it's like don't be that Cowboy fan and just lose your memory, right? Let's not forget who the player of the game was a couple of those preseason games. It was Taco. And I'm talking about good balling. I ain't talking about weak balling. I'm talking about really, really great balling. Yeah. Multiple sacks, multiple run stops, deflections, everything you want to see, you will see it. But then we'll do now? We'll say, but that was preseason. Well, Joe Jackson was in that same preseason and didn't do any of that.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't see. Joe, I don't know. You put Kerry Hyder back at his regular position. He's a better defensive tackle than he is defensive end.
True.
So, it's just some of this stuff just don't make no sense. But
yeah, it's politics, man. And what I hate about it is they try to sell us against common sense. And then sometimes, and even now, when the tape is telling the truth, they come out and contradict the tape. Y'all said yourself, getting off Taco. Y'all said yourself, Lewis was the most improved player and was a training camp star. Y'all said yourself he was the OTA star. Y'all said it. Yeah. But then when the starters roll out, the person that's always beat the worst rolls out with him, Anthony Brown. And we got to sit here like, oh, ha, 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 ha. No. And see, yeah, I'm glad we win in these games. But like West Coast said, I'm not worried about the Giants. I'm not worried about the Redskins. I'm worried about AB being in the slot when we in the Super Bowl and Anthony Brown on him. Like, I'm finna stop you. What you think gonna happen?
The best thing about us playing the Patriots this year is, if you're gonna win a Super Bowl this year, it's gonna have to go through New England. And guess what? We're gonna get a first look at it on when we play.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you something.
We already know AB is gonna eat that boy Anthony Brown alive.
But I'm gonna tell you what they're gonna do. They're not. I'm gonna tell you what they're gonna do. When they play us in this regular season, depending on our record, I guarantee you either Gordon, they're going to go through one player because Belichick is not dumb. Belichick is not going to show his full arsenal of plays against the Dallas Cowboys if he feels that he's going to be playing you guys later on in the playoff series.
True.
So that's the type of stuff Belichick will do. Belichick will go out there and purposely won't even throw the ball to freaking Antonio Brown.
Right. Because he know he go attack it later.
Just because he knows he's going to attack it later. That's the type of stuff that Belichick will do.
That is true. I can't fight you on that one.
And I'm going to be honest with you, they will even lose a game to do that.
Yep, they will. They will.
Because they know I'm not going to show you what we going to do to you when you said in the Super Bowl. Because I'm going to tell y'all right now, man, the season's going to change and power rankings going to go up and down. But guess what, man? As we go along in this season, the chances of the Cowboys is going to get closer and closer. So, man, we just got to make sure we hold on and ride this thing all the way till the wheels fall off, man. And make sure y'all stay tough and stay down for your Cowboys, man. Most importantly, man, you guys need to know, Boss Cowboy, let them know where you can find you at, man.
Boss Cowboy Sports.
Hey, man, a lot of people agree with that last statement you was talking about. I think when you was talking about Taco and some other stuff. Michael,
maybe I was talking about Anthony Brown, but it's true, man. It's like, because at this point, bro, it's no denying it, bro. Like, everybody been patient with Anthony Brown. And that's just straight up, bro. It's a lot of people that been like, Marcus, you need to be hopeful. You know, Anthony Brown has been better. No. The film has spoken. I mean, PFF have given Jordan Lewis the highest grade out of all nickels, and still Anthony Brown rolls out as a starter.
Yeah, that's because Cowboys.
And we need to get loud about it. I'm tired of us being like, well, they just like him, and then we just settle for that. And I mean, you know, at some point you got to start letting stuff trend, because guess what? They watch trends. Believe every time you tag, every time you hashtag start Jordan Lewis, it starts a trend. Your voice really matters. That's why West Coast are not doing show, because we believe we matter, and we do matter. You know why we matter? Because you saw what happened when West Coast just did one little old funky post about the truth on Cooper. He was attacked. You know why? Because his voice mattered. You know what I mean? So a lot of people try to treat us like, oh, you don't matter. You're nobody. Okay, then believe that. But for those of us who know our voice matter, start putting out hashtags like start Jordan Lewis. You know what I mean? Because that stuff trends, and you got to know how to work your voice.
Yeah, and then also Chris Richard we're going to have to realize that Chris Richard is a great guy, but he got a little politics in him too.
Yeah, he got politics in him.
At the end of the day, guess what? He ain't as gangster as Rob Marinelli. Rob Marinelli drafted a guy. We all know Tristan Hill was a Rob Marinelli draft, and guess what he did? Rob Marinelli said, "I don't give a damn. You still ain't gonna be active." So
yep, somewhere. Yep.
So he still got a little something in him, man. But
yeah, and all that.
Yeah, but y'all already know what it is, man. We appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. Make sure you guys tune in tonight at 4. I got real estate class tonight, so make sure you guys tune in tonight around 4:30. We'll be going a little bit earlier today. We'll be going through I'll have 5 more subjects. We'll be coming at you guys 5 more different ways. Y'all already know. You already know what it is. This weekend I will be in Dallas for the Cowboys versus Miami massacre. I will be in Dallas for that game. We will be putting on an event this weekend too for that game. I'll be announcing the player later on what player I'll be having. But make sure you guys can continue to tune in. We'll see you guys later on. And if you guys are in Dallas for this weekend, I will see you guys in Dallas. Brought to you by Cowboys Packages, man. Hey, shout out, man. Shout out to the one of the new sponsors, man. They're going to be sponsoring West Coast, and they're going to be sponsoring my show for week 3 and week 5. So appreciate Cowboys Packages for making it possible for West Coast to come out and enjoy these 2 games. Make sure we cover them, get some good footage. And, man, it's going to be a blast. So you guys already know what it is, man. Never look down because the stars up. Peace.
Peace.